A new channel has stepped into the world of Warhammer 40K, and what it's creating is unlike anything else out there. The stories it tells are unique, immersive, and truly hard to find anywhere else. Without showing a face, without a fancy studio, and without complicated equipment, this channel uses a calm, dark style of narration to build an atmosphere that feels like you've stepped into a secret archive of the Imperium, where every scene carries its own hidden story. The videos are long, yet even with that runtime, one of them has already hit 177,000 views, proving that when the storytelling is cinematic and done right, viewers get completely pulled into the world. The exciting part is that you can build a channel just like this too. You don't need to show your face. With AI, you can generate both the visuals and the voice and create something equally powerful. Maybe even better. Before we start the tutorial, let's take a quick look at the demo of the video we're going to create so you get a clear idea of what we're aiming for. And remember, I've put all the prompts you need inside a doc file in the description so you can easily access and use them.
The storms that rolled across Lathyrus 9 were not born of weather, but of memory. Ancient, electric, and heavy with the static of a world that had known too much war for too many centuries. Each bolt of violet lightning crawled across the cloud banks like a living wound, throwing jagged light upon the dormant god machine that lay half buried beneath the dust plains. For 300 years it had slept, its cathedral-sized frame entombed in silence.
Finding the title. The first step to getting your video noticed is choosing a title that your audience simply can't scroll past. To do this, you need to understand what kinds of titles generally spark curiosity and make viewers want to click. Try analyzing successful channels in this niche and see which of their videos pulled the most views. You can also use YouTube search to discover strong ideas, but I've made this step much easier for you. Just open the doc file, copy the command from the title prompt section, paste it into ChatGPT, and hit enter. GPT immediately starts generating 30 incredibly engaging title ideas for you. And if you still don't find the title you want, just ask it for more. GPT will create a fresh list of new ideas. With this prompt, you'll always have access to thousands of potential titles. It's time to write a script that keeps the viewer hooked from the very first second all the way to the end. Your script should have a calm, immersive, and detail-rich narration, and it's important to bring your own creativity into the writing process. Study successful channels, learn from their storytelling styles, and use them as inspiration. To write the script, open the doc file and copy the instruction from the script prompt section, then paste it into ChatGPT. At the end of the prompt, there's a place where you should insert your chosen title. For example, I'm using idea number 15. I simply copy it, paste it into that spot, and hit enter. GPT immediately starts generating the script. Since the example channel creates videos that average around 1 hour, this prompt is designed so you can even produce multi-hour videos if you want. And if the writing stops at any point, just type next part, and the script will continue exactly from where it left off. Creating the voice. Now that our script is ready, it's time to create the voice. My first recommendation is that if you have a good, engaging voice, definitely read the script yourself, because that way the audience connects with you much better. But if for any reason you don't want to do that, you can use AI. Just go to Google, search for ElevenLabs, and open the website. Log in using your Google account and click on text-to-speech. Now we switch to GPT to copy our script. To keep the video from getting too long, I copy a portion of the script and paste it into ElevenLabs. In the voices section, you can listen to different voices and choose the one you like, the one that fits the vibe of your video. Personally, I like the voice named Chris, so I select it and click Generate to create the audio. After a few moments, our voice is generated in 2 versions, and we can download whichever one we prefer. Creating images. All right, now we're getting to one of the most exciting parts of the process, making the images. When it comes to image creation, I highly recommend experimenting with different styles and visual tones. With the prompt you already have, you can customize it however you want and build a style that feels uniquely yours. And that's exactly what will set your channel apart. To create the images, open the doc file, copy the image prompt, paste it into GPT, and hit enter. Once the prompt runs, GPT will ask you to provide your script or a selected part of it. For example, I'm going to copy the same part I used earlier for generating the voice and paste it here, then hit enter. GPT will instantly start generating prompts and produce 16 image instructions each round. If you want more, just ask it to continue and it will keep generating additional prompts. Now, to actually create the images, head over to Google, search for Whisk, and click on the official first link. Then switch back to GPT, copy the prompt, paste it into Whisk, choose the YouTube-sized preset and click Generate. After a few moments, your professional-looking image will be ready. If you don't like the result, just hit Regenerate until you get something you're satisfied with. For the next instruction, simply copy the next prompt and generate again. Sometimes an image may fail to generate. This usually happens because a prompt contains restricted or incompatible elements. If that happens, just copy the same prompt back into GPT, ask it to fix it, and then try again. Using this exact method, you can create polished, high-quality images for every part of your script. Now we've reached the stage where our video is about to transform into a professional-level production. For editing, I use the desktop version of CapCut. Just open the program and click on Create Project. Then import all the images you've created along with your audio file into CapCut. Start by placing the audio on the timeline and then add your images. It's not necessary for every image to perfectly match the audio. If you want, you can fine-tune the timing, but usually for each short segment, a few images work perfectly and the result looks amazing. Once your images are in place, it's time to add effects. I use the luminance effect to make the lighting in the images more dynamic and professional. To give the video a more unique feel, I also add an overlay. The overlay I use is called Bokeh White. You can search for it and download it. I copy several versions of this overlay, select them all, and use Create Compound Clip to combine them. Then I slightly increase the scale to fit the video frame and set the blend mode to screen, so the overlay appears more natural. Next, we move on to transitions. I use the mix transition and apply it to all images. To make the movement more cinematic, I add keyframes to each image. Select the first image, add a keyframe at the start, then go to the end of the image and slightly increase the scale to create a smooth cinematic zoom. You can also do it the other way around. Start with a slight zoom and decrease it at the end. This adds depth and makes the sequences much more engaging. Now it's time for subtitles. Go to the text section, select auto-caption and click Generate. It takes a little time to process, but eventually your subtitles will be ready. Make sure to check for any typos and correct them. You can also explore different styles in the template section to make your subtitles look even better. Finally, all that's left is background music. Go to the YouTube audio library, search for horror, and set the genre to cinematic. Listen to a few tracks and download the ones that best match the vibe of your video. Import the music into CapCut, trim any extra parts, and slightly lower the volume so it doesn't clash with your main audio. And that's it. With this method and a bit of creativity, you can even produce videos longer than an hour. I hope this tutorial was helpful. If you enjoyed it, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'll be back soon with a new video and a fresh niche.
The storms that rolled across Lathyrus, 9 were not born of weather, but of memory. Ancient, electric, and heavy with the static of a world that had known too much war for too many centuries. Each bolt of violet lightning crawled across the cloud banks like a living wound, throwing jagged light upon the dormant god machine that lay half buried beneath the dust plains. For 300 years it had slept, its cathedral-sized frame entombed in silence, its armor plates cracked, its sigils worn by time, its machine spirit thought dead, or forever lost within the labyrinth of its own grief. Yet tonight, something shifted in the dark. Princeps Alaron Vale felt it first, not in his mind but in his bones. It was the kind of sensation that no training could explain, a pressure that built slowly behind the sternum, tightening with each heartbeat. His steps echoed loudly in the devastated corridor of the forward catacomb, where only the dim amber of lumen strips lit his way. He had walked these tunnels 1,000 times, each visit a silent apology to a titan that would not answer him. But the air felt different now, alive.